Hi. Yeah, I think it's time to start. We had been waiting for some people, but again, for the benefit of people who have come exactly at 4 o'clock, we have to respect the gentlemanship and we need to start. Uh, Once again, good evening to all of you. I hope everybody is comfortable, safe, healthy in the given scenario because of the COVID. The whole nation, the whole community, human community is passing through a great test time. Never in life all of us unanimously globally never had a global kind of a holiday or sitting at home. This sabbatical is teaching us how life is very important than anything else we do. Today, I was just going through what Jack Ma has sent a note. He says, this year, 2020 is a year where you have to be all alive. That's the very important note what he has sent. Anyway, with that note, I wish all of you good evening. It's a great pleasure to welcome all of you to this great audience through this digital connect. Thanks to the digital connect, because of it, we are all, even in the now lockdown situation, we are able to connect to each other very well. I'm fortunate to connect with all of these audience because this audience who are all from the group, various groups like clients, system integrators, OEMs, the brands, lot of dealers, distributors, fellow consultants, of course, AV enthusiasts, designers, programmers, and project team members, PMCs, etc. I would have left some of them in terms of the role, but again, my heart sinks with everyone because I converge with everyone and work through. You all form the key stakeholders of this industry. You are the magnets in this industry. Without this audience, this industry is nothing but completely a zero. Anyway, for the benefit of people whom who are meeting me for the first time, whom they don't know, I want to introduce myself. My name is Raja VN. I'm an AV consultant, very humble AV consultant. I come with a very humble and limited skill set, that is designing large format projects, do implementation audit, sign off the project towards perfection, product development and reviews, do factory acceptance test, that is FAT, and do idea analysis on technical infrastructure projects and technical infrastructure themes. And my interest area lies in terms of developing and upkeeping the relationships in the industry and networking. A quick intro about like where I started. I started my career at the age of 17, joined the Indian Air Force as a combatant. I served the Indian Air Force as a military man, and in 10 years' time, I hung my uniform and came on to the corporate world. Having done the B school during the corporate, I served for some important companies, MNCs, whatever we call, like HCL, Xerox, Ricoh, NIIT, Barco, Sanyo, and on, plus some other names. But in the last 10 years, I had been working the role of a practicing AV consultant. What do I do? I work with very limited key accounts or clients with whom I enjoy extensive mutual relationship and two-way trust mutually, who appreciate quality both ways, who adhere to processes while we are working, and who look at value for money in terms of disposition, in terms of any solution recommendations. Last but not the least, who believe in ethics and value systems which are paramount for me. Thus, I focus on earning more respect along with right money. That had been my always theme. Today, we have taken this particular task solution as active LED solution. Why have I chosen active LED, large format display, as a solution area, while the topic can be generic to any other solution? The point is very simple because last 20 years I'd been in this field. Active LED, large format display had been become my DNA now. I started this in the year 2000. That is the time I joined with Barco. I was introduced to this particular solution. Prior to that, like any other person, I used to appreciate this in various other places. In the year Y2K, when it was started, that was the time in London Dome, Barco was creating a fantastic solution. I was fortunate enough to lay my hands in terms of their design theme, understand a lot, and Barco always appreciated and helped people to learn the processes to their employees. It was very transparent environment. Since then, working relationship with Barco. Then later on, after leaving Barco, I had a working relationship with Lighthouse, which was again a good brand. Then one of the brands from China called Create LED. These are the ones which I had a working relationship. Apart from these, I was in sync with a lot of brands. Even today, I work with them. Some of them are like Samsung, Daktronics, Panasonic, LG, Xtreme, Delta, and it goes on. The list goes on. To name a few, I gave in a partial list. With others also, I had been working. What I have done in while working with them, I have designed solutions for stadiums, house of worship, auditoriums, atriums, convention halls, expos, theaters, homes, retail, knock centers, control rooms, turfs, which are race course, then motorsports like Formula One circuits and others, then experience centers and corporates, history walls, then power views, large receptions, theme rooms, stadiums, your museums, and last but not the least, boardrooms in which we started doing interactives also today. Today's session, we have taken active LED large format displays. In that one, what is the topic we are penetrating? The topic for penetration is the lockdown impact it's going to be on this capital item, because this is one of the capital item which is going to have a lockdown impact. And what are the current trends in the active LED large format display? This is the topic which we are going to roll in. While we are all safe here, we are healthy, there are millions around the world globally who are suffering and thousands of people who have laid their lives in the COVID-19. While I start this, I respectfully touch my heart and pay respect for those people who have suffered through this. Even within us, in our society today, we have millions of people, crores of people who are on daily wage management. Their lifestyle goes in terms of daily earning. Their lifestyle is hurt. They are hampered heavily. My request, my submission, my please, my appeal to all of you is to help them generously, whoever they are. This is the need where we have to see to that the fraternity of keeping that intact is very important. What is the lockdown impact? The lockdown impact today has certain evident, tangible, and certain intangible effects on everyone in the society. Whether the person is an employee, or the person is a contractor, or the person is a dealer or a distributor, or the person is a vendor, manufacturer, integrator, whoever it be, it has a lot of tangible and intangible effects left on it. What are those? One biggest thing which is hovering around is uncertainty. Till yesterday, we were not sure whether lockdown is going to continue or we will resume into. Today, no matter we have some clarity, we don't know how it's going to be effective, how much it's going to have an impact. So there's a lot of anxiety. This uncertainty and anxiety creates stress, complete stress in a human mind and in the ecosystem around. And there is a huge economic instability because of this. Some are visible, some are not visible. Then there is a huge demand and supply imbalance which is happening. Some people are able to envisage, speculate. Some people are not able to envisage, but they are going to see earlier or sooner. What's affected in this today? Direct effects are going to be visible on supply chain completely. The supply chain is fractured today. We never know which container docks in where, which manufacturing center is open or not open, what are going to be the embargoes, what are going to be the regulations. The supply chain fracture is going to affect most of the people. Then we are going to have a great choke in raw material supplies, whether we are going to supply to others or the supplies are going to come to us, whichever way it is. Having said that, that's going to create a lot of psychological impact. Physical impact, tangible impact is fine. Psychological impact is going to be because of government decisions. Which government globally, which federal system globally is going to create what embargo on which country, we never know. without naming, no matter. I don't mind naming it in front also. Today, when we are the manufacturing hub all these decades as China, the dependency on China for manufacture was very, very heavy. Even for raw materials, a lot of stuff was heavy. In that scenario, how the direct imports are going to be regulated by the governments, we never know. If it's regulated, or if it's choked, or if it's stopped, how are the capacities are going to be reinvented? That's another big question. And last but not the least, every buyer, the corporate or the individual, is going to work on a mood. That mood, because today every household is saying, even the president of US was saying, this virus is made in China. Chinese virus. Basically, what is he trying to say? He's brought in his mood. So today, let's take away all the gaps, diplomacy. Let's face human as a human, but still be integrated as one global citizen. Let's treat this globe as one village, and let's envisage. Yes, mudslinging alone doesn't work, but we have to be integrated. Yet we need to be careful. We need to respect the government regulations, the policies, and yet our patriotism, and yet we have to keep our nation as first. There's no doubt about it. So today, to help our topic, we have a beautiful panel. We have a panel of two panelists. One, we have Prateem Ghosh with us. Prateem Ghosh is a fantastic youth, youngster. I would always call him a young boy. He is the national head coming from Samsung India to chair this as a panel. He is heading the division of active LED display solutions. He comes with a bag of 18 years of experience in varied markets, of which 14 years he has worked very, very close with AV system integrator segment. His 10-year plus in Barco India has cemented his skill set much more. He's a good friend of mine. He's a great well-wisher. We spend a lot of time interacting on issues which are direct to business or not so direct to business also. Very cheerful person. You can always think of Pratim Ghosh with his smile. Added to it, his knowledge is enormous. Fantastic knowledge he comes with. His knowledge is unchallenged. A lot of times I learn so many things out of his small presentation. He's very sincere. Best part is a lot of people have knowledge, but because of their attitude, the sincerity comes choked. He has no attitude, no ego, selfless person, very simple. Anyone, anytime can reach him. Such a sincere person. And last but not the least, he's a good human being. He can never think bad for anyone. Any of a time, whenever he sees, I've seen in competitive environment also, where the moment he acts as a human, he's a superb gentleman. That's a very great thing. I would wish him all the best for his career, and I wanted him to grow to a great, great level, not just as a friend, selfishly, I'm telling, but as a human being. I wanted this comes straight from my heart. Now, what happens? Small remembrance I have, a memory chokes, comes in, very emotional to me. One of the days in Barco after the review meeting, me and Pratim, we have a lot of habits which go hand in hand like boys. What me and Pratim did was like we went on a marathon session. I still remember, I don't know which place, what resort and all. It went till wee hours of next day morning. We were discussing a marathon session on technology, solutions, and other things. I thought that I have passed a special diploma that evening, learning that from him. So, such a great person we have in the panel. So, that's really an honor for all of us. Okay. Having said that, now I will show the next panelist. The next panelist is Mr. Sanket Rambhia. Mr. Sanket, my God, just knowing him as a owner and director of Xtreme Media is one side, but he's a great friend of mine. I still remember whenever I meet him on the overseas trip, that's the only time he gets time to spend with me. I get time to spend with him. We discuss on so much of a topics of identity. He's a youngster, very smart. Bollywood has missed to have him as a hero, I would say. Thus, we got that hero for our AV industry. So charming always. I'm saying there will be a line of girls who would have missed him. Anyway, that we will talk later on. Very enthusiastic individual. Tons and tons of energy he has got. 5 minutes talk with him gives me a feeling that I had about dozen cans of Red Bull energy drink. The caffeine in me kicks in. That's the kind of energy he has got. He can drive anyone from anywhere. He's a master. from in computer science engineering. He has done that from Drexel University, USA. After that, he worked as a software developer in BlackRock, New York. In the year 2009, he thought he has to go back to his motherland. He left all the fortunes over there, which no one normally leaves, especially people from the West, maybe Gujarat. I don't want to name the state and go personal about it now. They don't want to come back to India. He came all the way and he started with 2 employees under his team. And what he did, he came with only one particular vision that he wants to redefine the digital display market in India and give it a new turn. From 2009 non-stop, he has been walking this journey, and what all others will think that he's scaling Mount Everest, for him it's nothing but chota sa sarson ka til hai. Just he stamped on it. In 10 years, he has developed the organization professionally with 150 to 180 professionals working under him, with R&D to production to assembling to marketing survey. This team is vibrant. My God. Today, what the dream he has got, he doesn't share with many people, but I share with you all to understand what his dream. His dream is he want to make India the hub for a very reasonable cost, that is low cost. I won't call it cheap, very cost effective hub for software, hardware, and content solution in large format display. That is his basically the dream. Now, what I will do, before I go on, I can go on for the whole of session. I have a bad habit of talking. So I need to put a lipstick plaster and hand over the whole session now to Mr. Sanket Rambhia, who will be the first panelist to talk on this. He is going to help us give the benefit of his understanding as a first generation entrepreneur. He will going to give the various dimensions in terms of what is the current day implications and so on. But however, as a small rule for this session, rule means don't take it personal. Rule means just understanding. You will have a lot of questions coming up. Whenever you get a question, all of you in the audience, please feel generous. Help us by putting your question into the chat box. We have Neha here who will moderate and list out the questions and read to us at an appropriate question and answer session, which we will take sincerely to answer it within the time limits permit. And we will answer most of the questions, which will be learning for us while answering to you also. So with that humble note, I hand over my microphone to Mr. Sanket Rambhia. Mr. Sanket, you have all the evening. Please start.
Hello, can you hear me? Thank you, Mr. Raja, for your kind words. I'm sure I don't deserve half of them. And thank God, Bollywood got saved from a Gujju like me. So, um, just giving a past, when Mr. Raja was giving an introduction of myself, it just reminded me of my days in US. I used to work in New York in a company called BlackRock. It used to be on 52nd and 5th Avenue, and very close from Times Square. And it was my everyday ritual to actually get down at near Macy's in near Times Square, and then change the metro to go to my office. And that's how the vibrancy and the energy of Times Square is all something that attracted me from day one. I stepped in New York, and I always wanted that. This is I all thought at that point, that why can't we have something like this in India? And that was the dream with which Xtreme Media was founded, and I came back. Yeah, so it just gave me a little bit of a recap, so of those days. Having said this, thank you, Mr. Raja, for giving me this opportunity and calling me and giving me the honor of sharing my knowledge with this learned audience. I will try to share what I have learned in past 10 years in this industry, 10 plus years in this industry. And I hope I can contribute positively to growth of each one of you and growth of the industry in general. I hope you are all safe, you are all happy, you are all staying fit and doing what it's required in these times for the family, for the company, and for the society at large. These are tough times, I think unprecedented times, but I think these two shall pass. And with that, I would like to start my presentation on LED, active LED displays. I would first cover the trends that are emerging out of active LED that have been emerging in past few years, and how COVID or this impact of lockdown or after this, there have been certain behavioral changes. There have been behavioral changes as us in individual in how we consume things and how we go to work and how we are productive also. So and how that is going to impact active LED display market and what we need to do to take the best out of it and benefit from it. So I see this as I see COVID as an opportunity. It can be a short-term threat. Obviously, it is a short-term threat from 3 to 6 months, but for long term, for a company like Xtreme Media and India in general, it's an opportunity. So with that, let me start. Uh, so it's been Xtreme Media. So as I told you, I was in US, and I am software developer by academics. I studied software development masters, and when I was doing software development for BlackRock, my uncle owned a company called NRDG, which is now renamed or merged into Xtreme Media, and NRDG has been producing active LED displays for more than 25 years. So it's not untrue to say that it's LED, active LED is in our blood. The oldest employee in Xtreme Media, who's there, is more than 20 plus years, and he's been repairing active LEDs. Earlier, active we used to manufacture the entire product line, starting from soldering, PCB manufacturing to hand soldering, and then assembling here in India. So that's our legacy. We look to provide 360-degree solution. So it's our endeavor to approach problem in totality and provide everything that it takes as a in a consultative approach to the give everything that it takes for a problem to be solved as a consultative approach to the client. So not just hardware, but also the right software that drives it, the video processing that is required, and also the content, suggestions on the content, and also production of some level of content is what we undertake. Um, Also, all our products are designed in India for India. So it's not a copy paste that, if there is a product available by some factory or some company, it's just imported and sold. It's designed keeping in mind the requirements of Indian weather conditions, Indian market. And that's why we are able to undertake up to 7 years of warranties for all our products. We have we've been privileged to have quite a few reputed installations under our belt. It started so in Xtreme Media. So in NRDG, Indian Railways was our client, Army and Defense was our client, and also stock exchanges were our client. But those were for indicator panels. The first project, large project that we undertook in active LED, and which was sold as a solution, which was a software hardware content combination, was in 2009, and that was for Bombay Stock Exchange. That was the actually two of my panelists, co-panelists. I think they may be working for Barco at that time, and we replaced Barco screen with Xtreme Media screen in 2009. So that was our first install, great success. And after that, we have had many installations in airport, T2 International Airport, many retail stores, many entertainments, even studios like TV Today, India Today, and many more. So today we have 600 plus LEDs installed, out of which 250 are outdoor screens, 150 are indoor. The oldest screen is under warranty, is more than 10-year-old now. So a true quality, the test of true quality is not how it looks on day one, but how it looks after a couple of years or 3 years and how you're able to maintain it. So the current screen, which is a more than 10-year-old, we've been telling client, please replace it, but they just don't want to replace it because it's working fine. It's a good thing and a bad thing, but yeah, so that gives some confidence that, okay, the components used are catered and they work in Indian conditions. We have 20,000 digital signage displays, which are under our cloud and native solutions platform. So our digital signage software is powering more than 20,000 screens. Some of the big clients are Axis Bank, State Bank, and others, which we'll go through in the future slides. We have a complete range of LED product line, from starting from outdoor, indoor, transparent, curved, weatherproof. So if anything, if you think video, I would think that we would have something to offer from Xtreme's portfolio. It could be hardware, it could be software. If not, it could be content or just some advice. And more than 10 software, which are built on top of our base digital signage software, like meeting room scheduler, queue management system, flight information display system, Wayfinder, uh, analytics software, and recently we launched analytics software with thermal recognition also. So that's a brief introduction of our company. We have 160 plus people. We're present in 10 locations. We our we first go into uh, we have a solutions or a support team in a when we open a new office. We first have a solutions or a support person, and after the support function is stabilized is when we put or hire a sales person. So today, cities in which we are present, obviously headquartered in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, uh, Indore, Bhopal, uh, Hyderabad. So most top metros we are present directly, and if we are not present, we are present through our partners. As an OEM, we endeavor to sell through partners with the help of consultants like Mr. Raja and system integrators. Uh, that's the way we approach. That's our go-to market strategy. And some verticals where partners are not present, we try to position our products directly, like banking and some form of retail. So let's go to trends. What are the trends emerging in active LED market? One of the trends that was prevalent during even ISE in Amsterdam, that the resolution. So I am assuming the audience is pretty much aware of basics of LED. I don't have to go through that. What is a pixel pitch? What is a resolution? What is a contrast? What is a refresh rate? What is the lamp of the LED, etc. I assume it's a knowledgeable audience. So in the benefit of time, I will just quickly move to what are the trends. So uh, trends are moving towards smaller pitch, with the invent of mini LED and uh, COB. uh, what we have is a chip on board technology. The smallest pixel pitch available today is even up to 0.4 mm. So point 1.5 mm is one of our hottest selling or largest amount of sell that we did last year was 1.5 mm pixel pitch, which was not even present before 2 years. So the trends are moving towards smaller and smaller pixel pitch. In Bombay Stock Exchange, the first screen that we installed, the outdoor was 16 mm and 25 mm. But today, 10 mm looks too large. Typically, outdoor screens are 6 mm or 8 mm. So trends are going towards smaller pitch, better resolution screens. Remote monitoring and health data. So as everything is getting connected, so is active LED getting connected. So what's happening is you can monitor your display network or active LED displays from a central location, from a cloud software of ours. You can monitor the temperature, you can turn on, turn off, you can monitor the brightness, increase the brightness, reduce the brightness. All this you can do from a central location. Even some LEDs have pixel level error detection. So if one LED is spoiled, one pixel of the entire screen is spoiled, you can see it through the central software. So that this, as everything is getting connected and IoT, so the trend is that you should be able to monitor the health from certain location as well. Um, as many of the applications for active LED is command and control and so on, and auditorium and broadcast, where uptime of the LED is very important. So keeping that in mind, a lot of new LED products, specifically for indoor, come with redundant power and redundant data. What this does is, typically in an active LED screen, you have many cabinets that form one display, and power and data is interconnected, looped, daisy chained, right? So if one of the displays is one of the cabinet is spoiled, one power supply fails, or one receiver card fails, what it actually does is it has a ripple effect, and entire displays spoils. And in a high availability applications like command and control, broadcast, auditorium, this can be the difference, between a good show and something of a fiasco. So for this application, we have an option of redundant power and data, and this is also it with a minimal additional cost. Um, Also, uh, what is happening is, as active LED is replacing some of the other technologies like projectors in boardrooms, um, they are getting smarter. So they come with a remote, like you operate a television, a smart TV. So it has an inbuilt receiver card and ports and everything. So it becomes very easy for somebody in the boardroom to operate them. This can also go in homes, in some HNI segment, where if you want to connect a USB pen drive, or you want to connect an external source to HDMI or a VGA port, you don't have to go through a video processor or a complicated backend equipments. You can simply attach it to the display using the ports. Uh, the two new technologies that have come recently, one is common cathode and another is DIP3 in one. Common cathode is typically used for indoor screens. However, they are also available in outdoor. One of the advantages of common cathode is it brings down your power bills by almost 40%. Okay, so because it's a low energy consumption product, what it also means, it produces less heat. Less heat means longer life for the product, and also less heat means you can increase the brightness, native brightness of the screen. So a regular, for example, if a regular 1.5 mm is 600 nits, a common cathode uh, product of the same 1.5 mm using the same lamps, but just changing the technology to common cathode, can go up to 1000 to 1200 nits. Also for outdoor, if the outdoor screen is 5500 or 6500 nits for a regular SMD, if we use a common cathode technology, the same lamps could be used up to 8000 nits. So that's one of the advantages of common cathode. DIP3 in 1 is only available for outdoor. It has the same benefits of common cathode, but the advantage of DIP 3 in 1 over common cathode is the price is suitable. It's not, common cathode is almost 25-30% higher than the regular price products, whereas DIP 3 in 1 are similar at price at similar price points. So you get the benefits of the power saving, but you don't have to pay extra for it. You can have higher brightness, but you don't have to pay extra for it. And also DIP 3 in 1 is a more rugged technology than SMD. So these are the new trends. Also, uh, as displays are evolving, so is the creativity. So it's not necessary anymore that your screen needs to be a rectangular or a square or one of these regular geometric shapes. You can imagine it is a canvas. It's up to the creative architect to you make use of this canvas to suit the environment or suit its interiors. Um, you can wrap an LED screen around a pillar. You can make a cube. You can make a rhombus. You can put it on a ceiling. You can put it on the floor. You can drape it. You can do anything that you want. You can put it as a transparent screen on the glass. So, it's very versatile. The LED is getting very versatile. Earlier, it used to be mainly an outdoor display format. Now, it is replacing not only projectors, but also rare projection cubes. And also, it's being used by architects to creatively enhance the ambience. So, because it's so versatile. Obviously, as the day as it's progressing, the LEDs are getting thinner. It's getting fanless. It's getting more powerful in the terms of resolutions are improving because the pixel pitch is decreasing, and it's also becoming touch interactive enabled for boardrooms. Uh, some of the applications that are there in boardrooms is some of the applications of active LED is obviously the boardroom applications. We would think that in COVID, when the space is going to, the offices are going to be smaller, people are going to encourage work from home. I feel that, oh yes, the offices are going to be smaller. There is no need to, if there's a 5-floor office now, maybe it's going to be 3-floor office because maybe 50% of the people are going to work from home. But not everybody can work from home. Some people will need to come to office. So what will happen is that while in earlier the need for collaboration and video conferencing solutions was only for external meetings, and very limited in-house meetings, maybe in-house meetings for people in different countries or offshore offices. But now, even in the same people coming into same offices, because some of them are working from home and some of them are in office, people would want to collaborate over softwares like Zoom or Teams, because some of them are in office and some are at home. So what will happen is the need for our collaborative solutions will increase, and people who are in office would want to get together in one huddle room or in a boardroom. So due to this, more boardrooms will require to have the need for active LED, because collaboration is not the need of the hour, it's just mandatory for all meeting rooms and boardrooms. Command and control centers for utility, for factories, for defense, and many other places. Auditorium backdrop is also getting replaced as active LED, because projectors typically you need a very dark environment, and also the light of the projector comes on the face of the speaker, which is not a very fun experience. So backdrop is getting converting to active LED. Public information displays, so outdoor displays have always been LEDs. So anything that is out of home, whether it's by government or for out of home advertisement, it's active LEDs. Uh, Retail and corporate lobbies is another application which is gaining momentum. So a lot of commercial buildings, entertainment, retail, those lobbies are getting vibrant. So they want active LEDs because the lobbies are pretty big, and also um, you have a quite a high ambient light. The active LED is the right choice. In retail, it used to be earlier, video wall or basal panel, large format video wall panels, like 55-inch 3.5 mm basal video walls. But what we are seeing is now, because basal, however small, even 0.9 mm also hurts the eye, whereas active LED can give you a seamless experience. And also, you're not restricted by sizes or form factors. You can wrap a pillar, or you can cover the entire backdrop of a reception and things like that. So it's getting more and more sorry more it's getting more and more adopted in retail stores as well. uh, Other applications are scoreboards for stadiums. They have always been active LED. These are not regular scoreboard, regular displays. Each one of these displays have something different. So scoreboard typically has a viewing angle which is different than a regular outdoor LED, because the stadium, you don't need so much of the vertical angle, but you need more of a horizontal angle. So the viewing angle of a stadium LED is different. Also, the refresh rate of a stadium LED is different. Digital billboards, the billboards that are facing the road also are slightly different than typical outdoor screens. These are the although in India a lot many people adopt these rules of, you don't need a bright display to be too bright, because otherwise you can blind the driver. You need it to be right at the right brightness, and you need to see them only when you approach it you're very close to it. If you're too far, it's not seen. So these are some of the minor tweaks in the same technology, but using different lamps or different backend software or video processing to make use of the same hardware for different application. Experience center and venues is another very good example of how active LED can, really make the place vibrant and communicate with the audience. uh, so having gone through the different applications, what is now happening post COVID, uh, is like there is an overall sentiment of, deglobalization, and some sentiments of anti-China sentiments. There's a fear of what will happen between US and China. Will there be large tariffs which will be imposed, or penalties that will be imposed? So having kept this in mind, what is going to happen, I think we feel, is more and more Indian companies will emerge and stand out after COVID, to take the leadership position. Uh, Everywhere other than India, a Japanese company would always prefer Japanese brand. A US company will always prefer a US brand first. Even in China, if you go to China, they will prefer a Chinese companies before they would give a order to US company. But in India, somehow we have this perception that, something international, something outside is better. A US brand would be better. A European brand is better. And I think that is coming from our British legacy, or maybe because we don't trust Indians. But I think it's slowly going to change. COVID is going to change this in a much faster way. So we have a product line which is curated in India for India. The components chosen are specifically chosen keeping Indian conditions are mind, dust conditions, the weather conditions, humidity, the temperature. Um, and because most of our products are designed by us, we can go up to chip level and repair them. So what happens is we are not dependent on anybody in China or outside to repair a PCB. Even a PCB faults, we can repair. Even active LED, if one of the lamp is gone bad, you don't need to throw the entire module. You can repair it. Um, so our mission is to create more and more value as we progressively, uh, as we are growing in India, create more value in India. More than half of our products have 50% or more product value created in India. Some of the value created in India varies based on whether it's indoor or outdoor. But at least 30% of our all products are value created are in India, and mostly it's more than 50%. Some of the do's and don'ts and advices, I'll just wrap up quickly. I've taken more than my share of time. So I would say that, focus just not on hardware, focus on the entire solution. Software and the content are as important as the LED itself. Focus on the design, aspect of the LED, what kind of display is suitable for this application, whether it's indoor, outdoor, how much humidity, what are the ambient temperatures, what are the different sources that are video sources that are which needs to be shown, whether you need HDR10. So design is a very important aspect, and obviously you need a special curated content to make your displays look good, if you really want to take out a entire juice of your display. uh, So I would say, to wrap up, please trust a reliable brand. There are more than 500 companies out there in China. But do you really want to go on Alibaba and buy this product? Because it's not like a box selling product. It's not like you just hang it on the wall and you forget. There are lakhs of LEDs. There are so many power supplies, cables, etc. And there is so much of counterfeiting of lamps. People say Nation Star, but it's not Nation Star. It's happened to the best of the people. Even it's happened to us. One of our factories one time sold gave us we when we got the product here and we tested in our equipment, we found out that it was told to us it was Nation Star, but it's not Nation Star. So how do you know whether it's Nation Star? Do you have the equipment for it? So be very careful of that. There are some companies who get into mumbo jumbo of HSN code and taxes. This is a 28% GST HSN 85285900, because it's a monitor. Anything else, if somebody else is telling you, please question, because it can come to bite you later on. And look for strong customer references. How do you know whether the brand is reliable or not? So you need to see their applications and references. So trust the experts who have the design capabilities, who have the service capabilities. On-site support is as important as design and sales. Some people have, say, everybody will sell, but whether they have the selling or support capabilities. And focus on content. Again, understand, focus on whether you need to, what bitrate it needs to be, what resolution it needs to be. HDR is at end to end. If it has to, content needs to be HDR10, your receiver, sender, video processing, your LEDs, end to end, your entire ecosystem needs to be HDR10 to actually get the end result that you need. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. Thank you, Raja sir.
Yeah.
I will conclude with the best wishes to the industry and everyone. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sanket, and it was a fantastic talk given by you. Okay, you have taken through everything because a lot of people, even I didn't know what you do actually back the background. Today, at least at one set of a thing, you gave everything. That's very informative. And also, you just talked about the sentiments of all other things. Okay, that's fantastic. And you have thrown open a lot of questions in the mind. I'm sure everyone is putting their questions in the chat. We will take those questions at the last after the second panel is also finished, because then both of you can basically give in your piece of view on that one, and I can also basically this thing. So before, I couldn't have waited more than this time to just see Prateem talk on that, because talking to Prateem or Prateem's deliverables is always fantabulous. I would always see, because I keep on looking at Prateem when he's presenting hours and hours together, because he has got tons of creative in his mind. But before I hand over to Prateem, I would like to just give a little interlude for people who have joined after I have finished my first session. When I go back to just 20 years back, like I can't forget in the year 2000 when I started, I can't forget the system integrators or the people who handholded with me, like Office 2000, Mr. Prem, Azaruddin, Prabha. They were the stalwarts, like they were the ones like who were ready to go in for a big one. And who can forget Balu? Balu has been basically the fountainhead of this industry. Okay, the genesis what he started, and the kind of standards he has set in terms for all the SIs and all those things. Today, whichever organization I go, it's nothing but the team from Balu is heading that company to this company and everything. So Balu had been always, I had a very high respect for him. And actually, I was speaking like in today again he's into active LED thing very very actively. That's great. Me and Balu and his team will definitely give us an opportunity in another session sometime to talk to us on various other things. And who can forget those Guptas? Whether it's Abhimanyu Gupta to Manmohan Gupta to Vijay Nair Gupta to Captain Gupta to there, one of those guys like who brought SI to a different shape altogether. And IAV, Kaushik, okay, Sigma White, and we have Mindstech and Ashok Ora, okay, and White October to Sigma to a lot of people. It will go on like maybe Resurgent, because I'll be really wrong if I have not mentioned any name, but again for the paucity of time. And today's recent thing I'm just seeing, like a person like Sunil Khera, he's come up with one big bang, like he's also creating wave in terms of Make in India thing and getting the solutions and other things to a different dimension altogether. And now I heard that Chetan to Balu and all have come up with another brand, and they are trying to give a wave. this industry is taking really. I'm very enthusiastic. I can't forget the team with Mahindra Associates when I brought in Lighthouse. We had Mahendra Kumar Patwari, of course, Gurudat. After that, he was moving around with Mitsubishi for some solutions and all. Now he's into some other industry. Rajesh Wadhwa, Mr. Bharat Jain, a lot of people. I can keep talking. I still remember recently I met Anup Chandran, like he is a brain child basically in terms of in this technology. Then Ashok, who is in Signavite, like fantastic. I can say Sabrish. A lot of people are there. Like I can keep talking about them. But again, everyone cannot be into one single panel environment and talk. So today we have now Prateem Ghosh. Prateem Ghosh, once again, I say he heads the Samsung India for the division of active LED display solutions. And Pratim has got a bag of 18 years, 2 decades of solid, varied market exposure, 14 years in AV system integrator things stamping heavily. And he is the champion in terms of this particular application. There's no doubt at all. Whenever I have anything, I just refer back to him. Now, I request Pratim to come and please take over the mic and kindly help us out in terms of taking to a different dimensions. I can't be waiting more than this, Prateem. Please, all up to you.
So, am I audible?
Yeah, very much. I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. So thank you, Raja, Long Association, for your extremely kind words. I don't know if I deserve them, but thank you nevertheless. Yes, it's been a long journey in AV. I've not been a very big job hopper, so I've only done about 3 companies in my 18 years, out of which 11 years I was spent with Barco, which gave me a massive exposure from LEDs to projectors to cinema to entertainment industry, control rooms, etc. And before I move forward, I have to make 2 points. On a humorous note, so don't get me wrong. Point number one is the last slide of a beautiful presentation presented by Sanket. So the last slide, I thank him for that, because with that last slide, he promoted Samsung as much as he promoted Xtreme by calling go for reliable partners. Yes, you should choose reliable products. That's one. And secondly, again on a humorous note, is also a very proud moment for me personally. Is I don't know if anybody is aware that I joined Barco in 2006 in the month of May, and the first ever project, and I joined Barco to start their LED division, active LED division, in 2006. It was a journey where, frankly, I had no idea what LED was all about. I just took a leap of faith and got into it. And the first ever installation I did, and in my limited opinion, one of the first in the country, was the Bombay Stock Exchange. It was given to NDTV, and it was a 10 went way back in 2006, which was later replaced by Sanket once the lease got over with NDTV, and NDTV walked out, and Bombay Stock Exchange took over. Anyways, I think with the 16 in 2009 or 10 or something like that. Anyway, so those 2 things I heard, so I thought I'll just mention on a humorous note. Now, coming to the crux of my discussion. So I got no presentation to make. It's a discussion that I would like to do, because I believe that if you're listening to me, my communication will be far better. Samsung requires no introduction, but after the masterclass that was given by Sanket, I think I should mention a few pointers on Samsung and the activity that we are planning to do, and spend less time on that and get immediately on the topic, which is the COVID situation and the way forward. Because most of the other points are already covered by my good friend Sanket in his presentation. So a little bit about Samsung India. Forget about Samsung Global. So Samsung India, we're very proud working for this organization. Everybody knows it's a very large mammoth giant, but not many people know what makes it a very large mammoth giant. So some trivia. Uh, Samsung India became the number one MNC in the country 2 years back, with a revenue in Samsung India for 70,000 crores as a conglomerate. Uh, we are very strong on R&D. See, the reason why all our friends here who are there in the audience have used, are using, and will continuously use Samsung products and get the benefit out of Samsung products is basically because it is a fantastic product that we launch, and the product doesn't come by itself. There's a very, very strong R&D that happens behind before, and it takes years before we launch a product for the market to consume. And so, just to give you an idea there, so how much do you think we invest on globally on R&D in Samsung? The figure is upwards of $13 billion, and that is what is spent on to get out the products, each and every one of them, be it mobile phones, be it consumer products, be it appliances, active LED, LFDs, etc., etc. So that is where we belong as an organization. We are upwards of 70,000 people working in India across divisions, presence in every city, every state in the country, with the sole intention of giving the best possible pre-sales, post-sales service to our clients to the extent that is possible. Um, so little now coming to active LED platform. So we basically I left Barco in 2017 beginning, and I was asked to join Samsung to start again the active LED division for Samsung India. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey which has been tough, which has been extremely beautiful, very, very heartening. A lot of friends support, like all of you in this audience, which has made us successful. We started doing the business actively in 2018 once we had the complete product range, etc. And I will be very happy to say that today we have crossed in less than 2 years close to 150, 160 installations in all mission critical kind of applications. Now, Samsung is being chosen for all mission critical applications for multiple reasons. First of all, the product, the features that are built in. Well, I don't completely agree when Sanket says that HDR 10 plus requires all kinds of end-to-end factors for work to work. Yes, it upgrades currently, and once HDR becomes normal, it enhances even further. Few advances that we have done, industries first. We have got 8K today. Even when you don't have 8K content, we have the capacity to upgrade the content from high definition to 8K. So we get the future as close to you as possible. We are not a geography based organization, so we supply to every corner of the planet, and we are a completely manufactured product, be it the display, be it the controller, be it even the mount. Everything is manufactured by Samsung in a factory of Samsung, and which furnishes requirements across the globe. So we get a lot of feedback, so a lot of feedback comes to us saying ye galat ho raha hai, this is the issue, can you resolve this? We also understand that every country has got different climatic conditions, ambient conditions, the operational conditions, trained people there or not there, and we have to counter all that to make a product survive the test of time. And when Samsung says 1 lakh hours, we usually mean 1 lakh hours kind of operation. So just to give you an idea, my first ever installation that we did from Samsung side was at the Delhi airport. It was 7 screens in 2017, installed in August 2017, running almost 24 by 7 till date with absolutely no issues. And that reputation gave us one of the largest single orders in the history of active LED in India. Many of you will be aware, which is 1,500 cabinets again to be installed at the Delhi airport, and so on and so forth. Like that, we did 150 more across segments like knock centers, command centers like ISRO, DRDO, etc. A lot of boardrooms, including one of the Prime Minister's boardroom, uh, and so on and so forth, experience centers, town halls, etc. So that's a little bit about a nutshell about what we do in Samsung. It is one of the most upgraded product that you can have. Uh, Many of you have already sold Samsung. Many of you will be in a position to sell Samsung going forward. So you will have the some features like highest contrast ratio, highest brightness, lowest power, lowest heat, very high on colors, etc., etc. And on top of that, a very strong service support, service maintenance, logistics, supply chain, spare part management, and the works. So that is in a nutshell that we do in Samsung. So I will not get into too much technical because I don't think that's the agenda today. And going forward, just two more points. The reputation of Samsung uh, has been made very strong with firstly the first product, a revolutionary product that we launched. A lot of you might be aware of the product called Onyx, the Samsung LED display for cinema applications. We have always seen cinema on projectors. It is the first time ever that a non-projector system, an active LED, got DCI certification, Digital Cinema Initiative. No other product in the world has that. And we are running 7 theaters today. Well, that's not the point. The point I want to make is you will understand and agree with me when I say that one of the most challenging environments is also the cinema environment. The image has to be unblemished, the image has to be perfect, the colors has to be rich, and it has to work continuously 5 to 6 shows a day, every single day, till the chain decides to replace it with a new technology. And that is the same value engineering we provide across our activity portfolio. There is no difference between a mainstream and a DCI, except a few operational differences here and there, which are tuned towards cinema. Otherwise, it's the same. So if you have not seen the Onyx, please go and have a look at it. You will get an idea of what I'm saying. It's installed in two places in Delhi, two in Bombay, and we have one in Chennai, one in Bangalore, and a few more coming up once this lockdown opens up. And the most recent development from Samsung, the wall. I don't know many of you have heard over it or not. A lot of communication has been floating out. It is the best possible LED display that you can ever see, and I can say that with a lot of responsibility, and not as a Samsung person, but as a exponent of technology and display solutions for a very long time today. Come and have a look at the wall. Once you look at the wall in operation, which is installed at our experience center in Gurgaon, you will know what I'm talking about. There's now no photo, no video, no literature can do justice to it, as your eyes will do so once you see it. It's a recent launch. We are seeing a lot of traction on the wall. We installed the first ever 6K. As I told you that we are getting higher resolution than 4K today, and we installed the first ever 6K wall in India, and that is the first ever installation in the world, which happened in India. So very proud of that fact. And we are seeing a lot of developments happening on that criteria. Some key installations that we did a lot of installations. So we did a lot of boardrooms, experience centers, town halls, command and control centers, uh, high-end retail showrooms like Kia. We are not in the low cost, low value market. We are not in the rental market. We are not so focused on the outdoor market. But when it comes to fine pixel, when it comes to mission critical applications, look no further, because there is no product that can come in close comparison. Uh, so yeah, so we did that. So some unique references, if I can tell you, you can have a look at the Principal Global installation, one of the largest asymmetric video wall, as Sanket rightly said. Look at aesthetic and design, and that is one of the largest we installed uh, uh, at Pune, which is a huge 2.5 stories high isometric video wall. For me, from a distance, it looks like a rabbit made seamlessly with active LED. Then we did couple of interactive solutions, and it's a very nice place to mention that, because the second installation, probably in my limited opinion, one of the very few in the world. The second one in India was done under the jurisdiction of Raja in Bangalore, which is an active LED with an overlay in front, making it interactive. The first one was done at L&T in Bombay, and so on and so forth. One of the largest ever installation in the indoor space was done way back in 2019, beginning first quarter, which is one of the largest P1.2 pixel pitch of about 15 by 5 meters, etc., etc. So I can go on about the achievements that we have done. So I just wanted to put a few things in perspective, which is why I want to continue the second part. Is that where is the market divided into? So activity is divided into three parts: rental market, the lower segment market, and absolute value positioning mission critical mass market. Activity today is no longer the future. Everybody keeps telling me you're dealing with a product which is of the future. No, it's not the future, it is the present. It was future 2010, but today in 2020 it is the product of today, and it's going to stay here for some time, and it's got a space for everybody. So depends on your value propositioning. You present yourself in the particular market. If I speak about Samsung, we are not in the rental space. We are not in the pure price game space. We are into mission critical applications. And just to give you the assurance on facts, we are operating about 150 installations, some as old as 2017, which usually run 16 to 20 hours a day, every day, at 0 point less than 0.5% service call ratio. So yeah, so that is where we are. In case there is a problem, we have a huge machinery to take care of any kind of eventuality. But thankfully, and thanks to God, we have not seen that kind of a situation till date, including any of our cinema applications as well. So so this particular situation that we are in today, which is the COVID pandemic, which has put, I will not say a full stop, I will say a kind of a semicolon in our operations. We are all at home looking at when the market is going to open. But I'm a born optimist. So I believe that nothing has gone wrong. And we also joke with people when we speak to each other that we are actually working more at home than we do that in office, because now there is no time limit, there is no date, there is no Sunday. Basically, a lot of people have been telling me that every day is a Sunday now, but I say that every day is a Monday now. So that's how busy the situation is, which is extremely heartening to see, because I am a strong believer that once this opens up, everybody will be jumping on double speed to get back what they have lost in the last 1.5 months. In that endeavor, the business will only grow. Nothing is going to hamper. What is going to affect? If I come to the topic, what is going to get impacted? It is the cash flow is going to get impacted, because slight project delays are expected. Slight project delays are expected. Slight design delays are expected, and because of that, there will be a delay in cash flow down the chain. A liquidity crunch will start happening. Giving credit at different levels of the channel and ecosystem will become a slight issue. So yes, and a short term, we are going to find these challenges. But in the same breath, I'm going to say that the ongoing projects which were decided based on last year's results are not going to suddenly stop. And we are seeing that in this lockdown, we have done close to about 12, 13 projects already, which are pending seeing the light of day moment this lockdown opens. So people have, and also please understand, people have got a little bit more stationary time today. They're not hustling and bustling, running to office and coming back, etc. So a lot of better designing is happening. A lot of new designs are being envisaged. A lot of new things are happening, and therefore I'm sure that once it opens up, all this is going to become a thing for everybody to grab. Another few tractions that I see from the market. Yes, there will be slight changes in the way we do business. Work from home is going to get effective for a lot of companies which can afford to do work from home, like IT companies, etc. So that opens up a big market of cybersecurity. So cybersecurity surveillance is going to open up like hell going forward, because right now we know, we at Samsung, who believe in a very, very stringent protocol of cyber use, what kind of nightmare we are going through. And one of the main reasons why I don't have a presentation in front of you, because we are very selective on going on platforms, making presentations. So that kind of nightmaric situation is happening today. So, but the silver line of that is a lot of cyber security surveillance programs is going to start up in both government as well as in corporate. Another one that I see is the only company that has got the money to invest to bring up the economy is the government of India. And we are going to see that when this thing slows down, government will try to revive. We hope so, and we have got some indications on that front as well, that a lot of money will be pumped up to create jobs, to create that extra daily waging concept, as Raja spoke in his opening speech. And for that, government has to spend a lot of money on infrastructure. So we are looking at, I believe, and with some little bit of information and responsibility, that in addition to smart cities, we're going to start seeing smart villages as well. So a lot of new avenues are going to come up. The seeds will be sown today. Government business is usually slow, but the seeds are going to get sown today, and the next 2, 3 years, 4 years, a lot of new concepts, new avenues are going to open up. Another thing is, as we say in Samsung, that the touch is the new touchy. So people usually don't want to get touchy anymore. So collaboration will see a sea change in activity. Social distancing will become the way of life. So huddle rooms, I don't know, whatever is being planned, but the growth in huddle rooms, I kind of be pessimistic on. But we will be seeing a lot of large auditoriums, multi-purpose halls, etc., by large corporates and government bodies to have those VCs or business applications, even for that matter, entertainment inside office campuses. That kind of avenues is what we look at coming up very soon. We've already done a few projects in that. I also say that because we're working on a few projects in that regard, where the brief is very clear that the rooms have to become larger and the displays have to become larger, and it has to live a long time, and therefore we need that. Another aspect we say is that I don't think, even if I ask any one of you, a lot of you will not send your children, your friends, your loved ones to a movie theater for some time. It is disaster for that industry, but it opens up the home theater segment in a very big way going forward as projects. So for me, it is more of a project because I don't do those small home theaters. So that is for somebody else to look after. But when I talk about the top end of the pyramid, when I talk about high-end home theaters, which attracts a lot of value, that is where I step in. And that is where I step in with products like the Onyx, the Wall, which has got no competition, which has got no comparison, and they are by far a very, very superior product to deal with. So those kind of markets open up for us. The mid-range and low range opens up for others. So as I said, this market is going to give bread and butter to everybody. Nobody has to worry. It is just which project you have in mind will decide which product you use there, and there's no hard feelings on that part. So those are the few points that I thought to share in a nutshell with the esteemed audience that is there. We will find a little bit of credit crunch going forward. People who are very strict, distributors who are very strict on financials, will create a little bit of issues, including companies like Samsung will create a little bit of issues. Yes, I will not run away from that point. We'll have to find innovative solutions, but I also look at options of credit financing, etc., coming into play, which might just soften the blow and help revolving the money, rotating the money in the market for businesses to happen. And as I saw already, Cisco doing it, buy today, pay later. Skoda does it, has been doing it for a very long time in the automobile sector, etc., etc. So those kind of informed and calculated risks will be taken up by companies. Uh, Last point here from my side will be that, from Samsung's perspective, is the responsibility of a company like Samsung, which has got the wherewithal, which is considered to be a very large organization, to drive from the front end this whole engine out of the pit that we are slowly getting into, and we do not shirk from the responsibility. And so we are in a process of, as we have lot of products in our in our bouquet, we are trying to integrate mobility with visuals, with gesture based controls, with activities for large format, back end, front end, softwares, everything. And we have our partners. One of our strong partners in the triple SP platform is also Xtreme Media, and we have held each other for a long time moving forward. So a lot of such collaborations, conglomerations will come up. You already must be aware that Samsung has aligned itself with Cisco with its Flip and collaboration platform. So a lot of such big company collaborations will happen. We also, most of you must be aware that now Harman as a whole organization is a Samsung company. So be it audio, be it visual, be it content communication, be it anything, we are becoming a one-stop solution. That is the endeavor, so that handshakes, as Sanket also said, that the service partners has to be the partners, the customers, the design team, consultants like our good friends like Raja should think about a proper handshake, as little hardware on site, as little opportunity for maintenance, high-end maintenance on site, by reducing the moving parts, putting in reliable products, uh, uh, putting in products which handshake with each other very easily. Service, post sale service challenges, parameters, etc., etc., should all be put into harmony before we design large projects. And that will be, like it or not, by choice or by design, will be the future. In a nutshell, that will be the future, because not many companies are going to start investing into heavy duty technology where the headaches go up only. So they are all looking at reducing the headaches, and that is where the R&D of companies like Samsung, Cisco, etc., come into play, to keep innovating, keep getting the feedback from all friends across the globe, not just India, and try to imbibe that to further and keep innovating the product range, and be the torch bearer basically in that regard. And that is what we intend to do going forward. So thank you for taking so much time of yours today in my discussion in extempore. I frankly did not prepare anything, so I thought that I'll just it's the best way to. I believe the best way to speak is when you speak through your heart and mind. So that's what I tried to do. I had made a few points, so I tried to highlight there. And I'm looking forward to support. I'm looking forward to all your support for our friends Xtreme Media, for Samsung, for everybody who's there, because I believe that if we all grow together, that is the only way the industry grows. Not one. If I might want myself to win and every single project, and I might grow, but the industry will never grow that way. So all our SI partners, all our OEMs, all our consultants, every single member of the ecosystem that is there should grow with the single point agenda of giving the best solution to the customer. Because I'm a strong believer that the only way to retain a customer is to keep him happy. If he's not happy, you can do whatever English or literature or whichever company or whatever giant you might belong to, you will not survive. So with that, I would like to close my end of the discussion, and I'm open to any questions from anybody in the forum. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Prateem. It was fantastic. Beautiful, like always. Look, even when you prepare a presentation by PPT, you will talk in your own extempore way. So today, without a PPT, what you spoke your heart. That's what I told everyone, that you speak like a great human being. That's very, very important. And a lot of key result areas you are given every one of us to basically think over it. That's really a great modulation. Perfect. So before I get on to the question and answers mode, I'll just take 2 minutes of yours. I know everyone, we are crashing towards the time. We started about 10 minutes late, so maybe we will have that sponge somewhere around. Well, look, the market, I'm just going to give you a market dynamics actually, okay, where I'm seeing from last 20 years I'm seeing. So I got a little right in terms of putting the facts. Whatever I'll say will be only fact. You can verify at any point of time in that one. So number one, there are about 110
system integrators of A category. The A category system integrators are about 110 of them are there, who do large format projects and all other things. And there are 250 B category system integrators. So India is a country with solid 400 system integrators working who have the capability of giving LED solutions. Unfortunately, only 25 of them are basically today giving LED active solutions. All other balance 70 to 75 percentage of them are giving ad hoc solutions, or they are trying to palm it off, saying that this is not my cup of tea. This some other manufacturer, someone has to do it. No, that's not the case. About 70 percentage or 75 percentage of the system integrator population, please don't ignore this huge market. This market is somewhere around 900 to 1000 crore per annum market. That's the kind of a market active LED large format display has evolved in India. Try and understand, try and take the fact from me. Hide and seek, out of the country system integrators, out of the country brands, come and do the project silently and go out, who amount to today more than 50% of it. The local system integrators are attempting to do not just less than 50%. So please, my friends, we are all here as one community. Whatever design skill need to be there, we are all here in a position to help out completely as a fraternity, as brotherhood. Please attempt to it, attempt and take it up, because this is the right time. Again, once again, the application areas I will tell you completely. Just give a year to it. I can keep talking about it, like sports, stadiums, arenas, house of worship, corporate. In corporate, you got n number of solutions. Then you got government, convention halls, government auditoriums. Then you got basically in terms of infotainment, everywhere, wherever you go today, outside airports, outside train centers, outside bus centers, you have infotainment things. Then you got huge auditoriums, everyone is putting forth today. Cinemas are converting into active LED. Homes are converting with a lot of solutions into active LED in home theaters, near the swimming pool, near the lawns, near the farmhouses, everywhere. Retail, it's filled up completely with LED applications. Then you got parks. Parks are going to be the places where a lot of LEDs are going to come in now. Drive-in theaters are going to be in lawn, because social distancing is the order of the day today. Gone are the days. Now people are going to get out of this multiplex and get into driving theaters once again. That's the active LEDs are going to play the role there. In broad daylight, they can see daylight, they can see the movie there, like the way they see into cinema halls, in sitting in their own cars, sitting in their own canopies given independently to them. Then you're going to have rallies, like election rallies. A lot of rallies are going to be digital rallies now. Now rallies are going to have a lot of active LEDs now. Now clubs, public places, everywhere, the television programs are going to be put onto a large screen because of social distancing. That's the only entertainment now people are going to have. First day, first show is going to be released a lot. Banquet halls are not to be forgotten. All the marriages are going to have limited attendance now. People are going to now have the large format banquet halls with a lot of social distancing aspects and all. It's not going to be lined up anymore. Rentals are going to have a lot of them. Control rooms have already come in. Knock centers are coming. I can keep talking about this a lot. System integration design, I'll put up and give. All these days, you are giving all the inputs into a projector or a small screen. All you have to now think is just shift that paradigm shift, think shift a little more. These inputs are going into a rack. Rack will have its own processors, scalers, and other things, which will do the job of wall management, scaling, and all other things. This is going to be put into your LED. Sitting anywhere, anyone can put up into the screen. A chairman from his room can telecast. Somewhere sitting in USA can just give his speech. Somewhere, some concert happening somewhere, the camera feeds can come into it. Press conferences, everything is going to be digital now. These all are going to be basically the large format one. Large format LEDs have got the quality of 24/7 into 365 days. It can work uninterruptedly for 10 long years. Take my word, today technology is so good. It's going to work uninterrupted like an aircraft engine. Aircraft engine keeps roaring and roaring and roaring. That's the kind of a thing. I'm a biker. I ride my bullet. I know non-stop my bullet can ride for 8 hours, 10 hours in a day without even stopping. Same way these LEDs can run. Take my word, 100% it can run. And today, order of the day is basically the cost of ownership in active LED is much, much, much lesser than any other technology which has evolved. So, my SI friends, I request, please focus on the solution, spec to your customer, take the help of the OEMs, the brands, and consultants like me and my fellow consultants. every one of us will help you out in terms of cracking the deal and explaining the customer how you have to basically take into it. Now, when I spoke about this application, what's very important on the topic, once again, I want to say lockdown effect has left a big, big impact on uncertainty in the mind. But try and understand one thing. I put on my status. When you challenge others, there is a probability you would lose. But when you challenge yourself, you will always win. Not once, not twice. Every time you will win when you challenge yourself. Put a challenge and key result area to yourself that you are the master of this winning game. You have to win this large format activity solution and make your money into the organization. Out of the 1,000 crore opportunity is lying on the road, can you not pick up at least 1% of it and get 10 crores into your company in the year one? That's what you'll have to basically focus and take it. Take away the anxiety. Anxiety is nothing. Money has not gone out of anywhere in the world. Money is not gone into Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean or Indian Ocean. It is there resting in peace as money. One good thing is market cap has not crashed the way everyone worried. Market crash cap is very much there. Sensex is taken care. No matter dollar rate, little Indian rupee has become weak. Try and understand, still Indian rupee is not gone that weak where you will have to suffer. While you are looking at the Indian rupee, Indian value of the rupee across the dollar, try and understand one thing. Now you have to look in terms of giving more and more solutions, more production oriented from India, and try and be not so much dependent. Okay. So I'm not saying Indian brands or anything, but make in India effort is something which is now looked into focus. All these years, why the trust was slightly missing because quality was not there. But today, Indian brands have got a lot of qualities. A lot of my fellow people who are producing in India have got a lot of quality, which is at par or nothing less than anyone else. Okay. Even the big brands who are not Indian are producing into India today. So the economic instability is a myth. You will have to work towards economic stability. Today, the way the global moratorium is working toward, you will have to self do a moratorium in terms of try and balance your finances very, very well. Plan you become the CEO of your own company. Don't allow someone else to rule for you. The supply chain fractures which are going to be there, play smart, do your medium in such a fashion. Your dependency has to be with your player who is going to give a right commitment. For that, transparency has to prevail. You have to demand transparency with all the suppliers and other things. Raw material is going to be scarce for some time. That's not going to impact the finished products at all. Try and understand. And the psychological impact which is hitting down, try and understand. Don't allow the government to impose too many things. You will have to, as a forum, as an association, go and help the government. Government may not know about so many things. We need to go and tell. I, in many of the time from my DGSN days, DGSND registration days till now, I go to government forum and talk about what the heavy industry, how it has to be stepped up and taken to the next level. Direct imports from China, yes, people are going to have a psychological barrier. My own family is going to find, should I buy the made in China thing? But try and understand, even medicine raw materials, the pharma raw materials are coming from there. 70% of material are coming from there. So you cannot choke out. We should not go just psychologically anti-Chinese or any other thing. We had been living together in an economic arrangement, business relationship and all. For we need to be in the global village. We need to have held with all other countries. We cannot have hatred because of any reason or anything. We are not that grown because we are not the state. We are not political parties. We are all humble business people. So we have to focus on our capacities very, very clear. Let's create a positive mood in front of the buyer. That's what I would submit to all of you. So before I get on to the question and answers mode session, which our moderator will definitely help us basically to get it out, Neha. So before that, I thank the panel. Thank both of you have come up with a lot of points. No matter you stressed on the product, your brand, that was very good. So it gave a new impact to everyone who was watching. And I appreciate the patience of the audience and those learner audience who are there, who had been with me, who had been rubbing my shoulders like friends for last 20, 25 years in this industry. I really salute all of you once again for giving your patient time and quality time to me. And many more sessions will happen on application area specific, wherein most of the audience today who are sitting here, they will also be coming forward to basically do. This group of AV Sutra and Hi-Fi Times is a voluntary group which has joined hands and which are getting people together in terms of network. Okay, we will do such non-profit, selfless, yet industrial friendly and networking and relations coming into place. Thanks a lot once again to Sanket, and thanks a lot once again to Prateem for giving your valuable time, and all the people who have helped in making it, and the technical team behind who has helped in terms of hosting the whole thing. Thanks a lot. I now
Thank
open up
you.
the question and answer session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good
Sanket,
evening, everyone.
Prateem. Hi, Neha. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Prateem. Thank you, Mr. Sanket and Mr. Raja. The session was very, very informative and enrichful. Uh, Quickly, without wasting any time, I would. There have been a couple of questions that our wonderful audience has given us. To start with, Mr. Sanket, uh, the first question goes to you.
Mhm.
Would India become a manufacturer of active LEDs? If yes, how and when would that happen? Especially in terms of LED lamps, where Chinese players are pioneers. Also, how many companies have LED manufacturing units in India?
So that's a very good question to start off with. So it's a tricky one also. So manufacturing is at many levels. Let's take a corollary of a car manufacturing. I think India, in the manufacturing in true sense, what India does well is car manufacturing. So when it started, it was completely coming as imported complete units. Then it started coming as a knockdown units and getting started assembling in India. Then it started getting designed in India for India, but still manufactured outside of India and assembled here. After that, some more and more components started getting manufactured, like chassis, like tires, like other parts, got started manufacturing in India. But even today, when there are a lot of car manufacturing is happening in India, most of the engines are still not produced here. They are coming, they are still imported. So it's the same way in LED. So earlier it was pure assembling. Now companies like us who design, customize, and get manufactured in China and assembled it here in India. Going forward, like things like chassis, like the cabinets, the power supplies, the PCBs, these can easily be made in India and are getting made. Very few companies, I believe, have an SMT line that can produce modules. Actually, producing modules is the least of the value creation. The most value creation that happens is design, and then after sales, and obviously also the lamps. The lamp is the biggest chunk of the value for the LED display. And unfortunately, the lamp manufacturing in India will take some time to come, because it requires a lot of R&D. Second, it requires a big factory, a fab unit, which is in billions of dollars. So a typical fab would be $1 or $2 billion. And that in China, that has happened because a lot of state sponsored companies are doing it. A nation star, for example, is state-owned company. The stakeholding is with the Chinese Republic. So that will take time. Actually, the component manufacturing, which is the last one to come to India, unless there is a big initiative by government of India, somebody like Nichia or Cree or Nichia or Osram, if Indian government partners with some big lamp manufacturer, only then can lamp manufacturing start in India. Else, it's going to be a while.
I'd like to add one thing, Sanket, here. That's a good question. And look, India's specialization is into places like space, like ISRO, the way they launch rockets and all, like the way they have done the Chandrayaan, which couldn't complete actually, the Chandrayaan 2. They did in 25% of what US or anyone could have done. Still, it's a big question mark with NASA and many other people, how so cost effective they could do. Same way as you said, like we have automobiles. Unfortunately, what happened, the very trend of our government-owned manufacturing, government-owned companies got disinvested. Like, for example, like ECAL, which was there. ECAL has all the capabilities of manufacturing this particular lamp. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. Now, again, the revival is happening in terms of this planning. That not depending on the raw material in terms of, so pharma and these microelectronics are going to be very, very important thing, which is fantastic actually, in terms of going to do. If I'm not very wrong, I will not be surprised in the next 3 to 5 years time, we will have a lamp manufacturing thing. the day we all have economics of scale happening to that particular level, or we are able to tag the export of this to other places. Very soon, I feel like that. Yeah, please, the next question.
Yeah,
Or
just
anyone
just
wants
just one point here from our side. So
Yep.
basically, LED manufacturing, lamp. Everybody talks about lamp. So lamp is one thing. Yes, it is very important. There's a lot of other components that goes inside the cabinet and outside the cabinet, which makes the LED cabinet perform the way it performs. Like if I draw a comparison, a very stupid comparison, but if I go back in time during my school college days at least, I couldn't afford a computer, you know. So there was a computer desktop, no laptops that time. So desktop came assembled with the best parts. So everybody who knew about the best chip, the best screen, the best parts, the best electronics all came together. But I never saw it working as good as a Dell or an IBM product. So that's today's case of active LED solution. So what needs to be done? What do you want from an active LED? The basic question lies there. Basic question is spectacular image quality. Yes. Basic question is uniformity, reliability, longevity. Yes. The basic requirement is a large screen format, larger than life. Yes. You know, and all put together showing content in its true form over the life of the product. So that depends on the lamp, that depends on the power supply, that depends on the overall design, electronics, heat management, power management inside the cabinet, and a lot of other features like dynamic peaking, inverse tone mapping, etc., and coming out of the cabinet with the mounts. You can't make it bulky anymore. Those solid MS frame structures that people are used to using, not needed. Alignment challenges should not be there. When you're saying seamless, it should remain seamless. So it is an overall process of manufacturing which has to happen. Little bit about what we do. So in Samsung, the bulbs are not made by us, but the bulbs are made as per our specifications. We don't buy off the shelf bulbs from anybody. So our assembly line is leased out by Samsung in some factory somewhere, and we have multiple brands of bulbs that we use, different bulbs and different applications that we use, and that is how we do and put it back. So basically, screw to finish, scratch to end, it is a manufactured product, and that is where I think it will land up, as Sanket rightly said. As the automobile industry, if you go from CKD to manufacturing today, and that is where active LED business, manufacturing business will also land up. I also agree with Raja that I don't know if there'll be a lamp manufacturing happening in India that soon, but we are all hopeful that it happens and a new brand comes out which delivers similar results as they do today. But it's not too much of an issue as if you
fantastic.
really ask me.
Fantastic, Prateem. I think Prateem gave a 360-degree overview. But why I mentioned about the lamp is because there was some discussion. There are people who are working behind it. If a
Yeah.
critical part like lamp can happen, definitely all of those things will come up and take its shape. Let's hope that
Sure.
very soon, yes, that Make in India process, a lot of things take a particular shape. Okay. Any other question, Neha? Anything important
Yeah,
question?
yeah. So, few of our friends have asked that what is the estimate of the retail sector bouncing back in today's new normal? Am I
Okay.
audible?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're very
Yeah.
much audible. Prateem, you want to take the answer?
So,
You want to answer that, or should I?
so what retail sector bounce back timeline?
Yeah. So, how soon do you assume the
Back.
retail sector bouncing back, and especially in terms of active LED?
See, retail sector will bounce back. There is no option. Human memory is limited to disasters. Let me tell you that. When I was with Barco, I was based out of Bombay, and I have seen all kinds of things. I've seen the train blast, the deluge, this, that, and next day everything is back to normal. That is how we are designed as a human race to bounce back. Today we might think that tomorrow once it opens you'll be skeptical, but I can assure you that tomorrow, after such a long lockdown period, when you open up the malls, you will see it being filled up with people. Some people will be scared, some people will be there, but the amount of population we have in this country, even if 10% land up in malls, is packed up malls, right? So, and festive season is coming, Eid is coming, then a lull, then everything else will be following up. And these are the one part of the story. Other part is the businesses are not going to sit idle. People want to do shopping, people want to buy stuff. Some things that you cannot buy online, you will have to go to a mall to buy, and people will be going there. And people I know in my learned community, I know a lot of people dying to step out of the house and going to the mall. So retail will bounce back. Yes, there will be a lot of skeptical measures. There will be a lot of social distancing. Malls will have a lot of procedures, amount of people entry. I don't know. Some rules might come up. Government might put some
Prateem,
rules.
I have one point to add here. Actually, Neha, that question, the right answer to in a nutshell, if I have to give, how fast is going to bounce back? It's going to bounce back as fast as it has gone off. It will come back. Reason is very, very simple. If a smoker's dad has died because of smoking, the smoker is not going to give up that. Okay, he's going to say, "My dad lived long, yeah, he enjoyed. Why the hell I need to give up?" Second, the dependency on retail is so high today. Only thing I would see the retail, the timings of the malls are going to be elongated. Now, because to control the crowd, what they're going to say, they are going to be 24 hours malls. They're going to be midnight malls. They're going to be malls which are going to be opening early of the day and other things like. And retail is going to increase a lot. That's what I feel.
To add,
Hello, can you hear? Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Prateem, we can hear
So
you.
yeah,
retail is going to
I'm
bounce
sorry,
back
I got
faster.
unmuted by the host. It seems they don't like me talking too much. Uh,
Not
so,
like that.
so no,
If that was applicable, they should mute me.
one point that I wanted to make at the end was that, see, digital signage is going to get more tractions in retail. Why? Because a lot of communication needs to happen to public who walk in. There will be a lot of long lines and queues for entry because of social distancing, and a lot of time spent to enter and exit the mall. Forget about the time spent inside the mall. So lot of digital signage application. I was looking at it more towards corporate and government, but since the question was on retail, I strongly believe that digital signage in all forms. Now I will just extend my point from only active LED. I'm saying even LFDs for that matter, small, large, outdoor, indoor. A lot of digital signage will get attracted in and around the mall, outside the mall, and inside the mall to make communication much stronger, because otherwise it will be a situation which cannot be managed. So that is
Absolutely.
one aspect that we need to look at very closely.
Yep. So Neha, any next question?
Yeah. Um, so another question that was asked was, in the coming times, cost will play an important role. So what is the strategy of the AV companies, to combat this?
Okay, cost is
So,
something is going to be an important thing. I know. Like cost is something today. None of the AV companies are going to decide. It's basically the chain, actually, the very supply chain, from the raw material to the capacity management to the manufacturing to logistics. Everything is going to talk about the price of it. I think it would be really not so right on our part right now to comment on the cost or the price of it. We will anyway take this question and we'll come back to that individual whoever has put it.
Cost has
And I'll
always
come
I
back
played
to
a
have.
you.
role. Cost has always played a role. So it will continue to play a role in different
Okay.
ways.
So I think I in this something like value engineering, which we are always been good at. Indian companies have been good at value engineering, and
Yeah.
that's what it's going to shine. And that's what is going to be a differentiating factor for most companies going forward. Because it's not just the product that you buy, but what solution or what results that you get, and what is the cost of ownership. You need to look at the entire cost in totality. So as Mr. Raja said, that it's not a product that you buy for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. It's going to be 7 to 10 years that you're going to use one product. So value engineering is one thing that is going to be important. What is the kind of support that you're able to provide, and whether the product lasts you for 10 years or 8 years or 7 years, what you envision for, is going to be important. And I think that's where our jugad, but not so. No, I would not like to use word jugad because it's actually it has a negative connotation. But getting the similar product quality uh, at a fraction of the cost, and that is quite achievable, because today's requirement, people also had a need to go from A to B. You can go in a Mercedes, or you can go in a Toyota, or you can go in a Maruti. So in today's day and age, people may not buy Mercedes, but still requirement of going from A to B is not going to go away. So requirement for Maruti and Toyota is still going to be there.
I
Yep.
totally
So to the
agree. So
purpose
depending
is,
upon the pain and the solution you provide, the cost will be decided. So it's a very generic question. So depend upon the application, the TCO, the value of the project, etc. Value means not in price, but in the value, the value of the project, be it a boardroom, command center, application, will decide the cost. So it depends on what it is, and in every segment, the cost will be optimized. So that has always been there. That will always be there. So that is not a thing, but segment will decide the pain of the business will decide the cost of the solution. So that is where I think cost will be. So everybody has space.
I think,
Everybody has
fantastic.
ground to play.
Yeah, fantastic. I think both the panelists have given a right befitting thing to the dimension to the whole thing. Neha, any next question?
So I think last question. What was the active LED market in terms of volume and revenue in 2019, and what would be your assumption for the coming year?
I think any one of you, Prateem or Sanket, you want to talk about it before I make any mention?
Sanjay, do you want to take this?
Yeah. So I think for us, we looked at fixed install market as our market. The LED active LED market is a broad market. So as there's a rental application, there's a huge portion of it is rental. More than 50% is rental, and unorganized segment, which we call it, which is a direct import, unorganized. Their quality doesn't matter. It's just the price that matters. So it's around 800 to 1,000 crores market, out of which 50% is almost rental market. So around 350 to 400 crores is the market size for active LED, fixed install active LED organized market, as per our data.
Yeah, true. So I corroborate the same. So it is around the LED market. Unfortunately, is extremely fragmented. So we got a huge amount of these rubbish that comes from across. Then you have this direct import, smuggled goods, import data are missing, etc., etc. So if I really take at the information which is available, it should not be more than 350, 400 crores kind of a market. Might be more slightly, but that's what I think is there.
Yeah, I would like to reiterate a little here. I'll take you back again, once again. We are about close to about 150 A category SIs and 250 B category SIs in the country, of which, trust me, about 25% of them are only attempting to this particular solution. Most of the solutions which are being done today are silently being done. I completely agree with you. Around 350 to 400 CR of a market per year is surfacing up today, which is seen. But equivalent or little more than this equivalent market is not being attempted by us, and it's being done. And it's illegally, this market is also being addressed. People are going directly and buying from there, and it's happening. And SIs don't even know about it, nor the OEMs also will come to know later when sales people land up there and do so. Second is the rental market, or basically the events market and all which are there. They are going for the low cost of it for a simple reason, because they wanted to amortize the whole thing in 1 year, 1.5 year, and finish off with that. But with proper quality expectations, when quality is displayed and quality expectation goes high, definitely that market will fall into the bag and the lap of the SIs now. Once the SIs start moving into the market properly, I think next year or the immediate year, wherever we take, should not be anything less than 800 to 1,000 CR market. My viewpoint on that one. I may be wrong
So
if other facts
just
come in
to
front.
give you some global perspective, I think Manoj is asking that Indian market. I will try to give you some global objectives. So the total LED market globally is about $2 to $3 billion. That is what the global market is, predominantly in the US, Europe, and Asia. So that's how in that order it is there. Uh, and the outdoor market, I think, is about 30 to 40%, 30 to 40% of that whole industry, and the remaining is indoor. The outdoor is growing at about 2 to 3% only. So that is what the growth of the outdoor market is, which I hope it changes going forward. But that's where it is, mainly because of very strict regulations of putting outdoor in the from from the authorities. And the indoor, on the other hand, is growing at close to about 21% year on year globally. So that is where the business is. That is where the attraction lies. And Manojji, I can't predict what will happen to 2021, but what I can say is that you will be looking at an exponential growth in the indoor fine pixel market, which will consume the higher end of video walls, projectors, larger projector setups, which people still use projectors will change, etc. is going to happen. So I'm looking at not less than, I don't know, being on the balance side, maybe 15 to 20% growth over this year. So if we are doing about 300, 300, if I take at a lower level, we are looking at about close to 400 next year. So that's my prediction.
Okay. Yeah. Neha, any other question you have?
That's it, sir. I think we've covered everything.
Okay. So, so fantastic. I think the participants who are around, thanks a lot for all your patience in terms of helping us out, in terms of organizing this and staying with us throughout the time and able to help us in terms of explain whatever the viewpoints we had. And panel has done a fantastic job in the limited time what was given. We were to do it a little more time, but we thought this could be the last day of the lockdown, and we wanted to prepare the essays up and ready for the post-lockdown effort. Now, some places things have changed, things have developed, but however, we will have more and more sessions like this coming up. And one and all, I thanks once again the technical team, the panelists, the audience, and people who are sitting on the other side who have helped in terms of giving this idea to me. And definitely, we will have more interactions like this coming up. Thanks a lot.
Just one point before I sign off, on a very selfish note for myself, and this is, I'm talking very selfishly for myself. I hope all of you grow, because if you grow, I grow. So, so please do your job well and help me grow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
That's a good
Be
one.
safe.
That's a good one.
Be happy. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks a
all.
lot.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.